Okay everyone, so now it's time for maths. Today we're going to be looking at understanding number sequences using fractions. So let's dive straight in with our number line. And our first question says, starting at 0, count up in steps of a half. So obviously at the start of my number line, I'm going to have the number 0. And then if I'm adding on half, well 0 add a half, I've got no whole ones, so I'm just going to have a half. If I then add on another half, that would give me 2 halves, and we know that 2 halves is equivalent to a whole one. If I then wanted to add on another half, that would be a mixed fraction of 1.5. We'd then carry on to 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Nice easy way to start. We're then going to look at starting at 2, but this time we're going to count down in steps of 2/5. So here is my starting point, the number 2. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. You could say, right, 2 is equal to 10/5, because it's 2 whole ones. And you could then say 10/5 take away 2/5 is 8/5. And that, as a mixed fraction, is equal to 1 and 3/5. You could also do it where you do 2 is equal to 1 and 5/5, and then take away 2/5, which would give you the same answer of 1 and 3/5. So it's whichever method you feel comfortable doing for that one. Either way, my answer is 1 and 3/5. If I would then take another 2/5, I would have 1 and 1/5. Okay, and then if I were to take away another 2/5, I'd go down from 1 and 1/5 to 1, and then from 1 to 4/5. And I would keep on going until I hit 0. The next step is we start at 1, and then we count up in steps of 3/4. So let me just clear my numbers off the board. And we're going to start at 1 and count up in 3/4. Well, 1 add 3/4 is nice and easy, it's 1 and 3/4. If I then add on another 3/4, well, first of all, let's add on 1/4, so 1 and 3/4, add a quarter, takes me up to 2, and then I've still got 2/4 to add, so 2 add 2/4 equals 2 and 2/4. So we would carry on going up that way. The next step would be 3 1/4. And then we'd go up to 4, and we'd carry on with that pattern. Here we've got an example of a number line that's been set up with some fractions, but with some gaps in the number line. So we can tell by looking at the jumps that we do have, we go from 2 to 2 1/5, to 2 and 2/5, to blank, to 2 and 4/5, to blank. So I know from looking at this that we must be going up in steps of 1/5, because I go to 2 1/5, and then I add on another 5th to get to 2 and 2/5. So we know quite easily that 2 and 2/5 add 1/5 is 2 and 3/5. Does this follow my pattern? Yes, it does, because then if I add another 5th, I get 2 and 4/5. And then if I add another 5th, I get 2 and 5/5. But we don't say 2 and 5/5, do we? We say 3, because 5/5 is a whole one. If we then go back to the start, we've got blank 2. So this time, instead of adding on a 5th, we're going to take away a 5th. So same as we did before, 2 is equal to 10/5. And if I take away a 5th, that would give me 9/5, which is equivalent to 1 and 4/5. Or you could do it the other way if that's what you preferred and do 2 is equal to 1 5/5. Take away 1/5 and that equals the same answer, 1 4/5. So in this little box here, I'd have 1 4/5. Okay, now I'm going to show you your worksheets for today. Once I have gone through all the worksheets, rewind your video back to your sections and complete them. Once you've completed them, please send the work to me and Mr. Bates so that we can mark them and get the feedback back to you. And let's go. So if you're on bronze, you have this slide for your work, and you are also going to complete this slide. If you're on silver, you're going to complete this slide and this slide. If you're on gold, you are going to complete this slide and this slide. Now don't forget, some of these questions might involve you using equivalent fractions, so please don't forget to use them if you need to. To find an equivalent fraction, whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So a half is the same as 2/4, because I've times 2 by 2 to get 4, and 1 by 2 to get 2. As you can probably hear, my dog Lucky is growling, it's because he's guarding his bone. And once you've completed your bronze, your silver or your gold, you have then got a platinum challenge. Please have a go at that as well. Remember, read the questions carefully, okay? Some of you make the mistake sometimes of just working it out, but then not actually seeing what they want you to do. So sometimes the answer to the calculation isn't the answer they want. So read it carefully. Make sure you are telling me exactly what they want you to tell them. If you do need any help, feel free to email me. And other than that, have fun and enjoy.